Good evening, good evening. This is your boy DJ Tan right here on the Altitude. I had to wait a minute to decide I wanted to talk about this today because I find so many things in the world that we live in absolutely ridiculous. I purposely have stayed away from the internet, television, and all of these things because of the entire Bill Cosby situation and the entire situation with you guys as president. I say y'all president because he will never be mine. I will never conform to anything that he has to say or do. Ever, ever, ever. So that's why I say you all's president, not mine. As far as I'm concerned, the last president I had was President Obama. And it will remain that way until he gets his behind out of office. What bothers me the most, however, is that I feel like Bill Cosby was railroaded. I feel strongly that he was railroaded. And I say that because if you look at all of the same issues that are going on in this world today, all of them, and then you say to yourself, you have this one single person who has been persecuted, prosecuted, imprisoned for the same exact things that his so-called white counterparts are being accused of. You got one so-called counterpart that is holding office in the United States of America. And it makes me say to myself, what in God's name is going on? There is no way that anybody can explain this entire situation. I believe the prosecution of Bill Cosby was politically motivated because when I got a chance to see the testimony on video where he did admit to giving people, including women, at the Playboy Mansion quaaludes, I think he was being very honest. What he admitted to was distributing illegal drugs, not rape. Just how many non-drug using virgins do you think were there at the Playboy Mansion? How many non-drug virgins were sitting up at the Playboy Mansion parties? I've heard people say who were insiders back in the day, that all the women had to have sex with Hugh Hefner in order to get in. And I believe that's true. So she went to a place where orgies are the norm for them back then, but she was a virgin. And she wears this cross of Jesus on her neck when she talks about what happened in public. I'm sure that one non-drug using virgin who got in would never have sex with a tall, dark, handsome megastar with millions of dollars like Bill Cosby. No. Years ago, I had heard he had sex with hundreds of women there. Not that this is a good thing, but they were lined up waiting for this man to have his way with them. Why do you think he was desperate? He was desperate. Do you think he was desperate enough to drug and rape women? Come on now. Why would he even have to drug somebody and rape them? He could have sex with multiple women. But what? This one, just this one person, just was one person, wouldn't. So he needed to rape her? Now I know y'all don't believe that. I even know you white people can't possibly believe that. Because the one thing that I do know that went on back then and still going on today, that women will throw themselves at somebody, and I call them name brand people. They will throw themselves at a name brand person as fast as they can get their drawers off. And I've seen it for myself. They will throw themselves at the rich people. They will throw themselves at the entertainers. They will throw themselves at the rappers and the actors. And they do that. And it's ain't no shame in their game. So, hey, I'm telling you like it is. They throw themselves at them to gain a little money or some of them even try to get pregnant and know that they're going to have a meal ticket for 18 years. And that's the truth. So I'm saying this to say that, think about that. Bill Cosby was rich and famous and handsome. He's at the Playboy Mansion. He would have had a few women lining up to have sex with him. He had no reason to rape anyone. Decades went by, literally decades went by, and no one said anything about this until he started speaking out about the riots in Ferguson and Boston. The Democrats felt that they needed racial tensions as high as possible. You see, in order to get the black vote out, which they could not without, Cosby was speaking out, trying to calm the riots, as he felt they were making black people look bad as a group. And you know what? Black people, he was right. He was right. Cosby was then hit by the typical left-wing character assassination squad, as usual, led by old stupid-ass Gloria Allred. Now, the same women who brought charges against many prominent conservatives, just as they were running for office, and that does include Arnold Schwarzenegger, Herman Cain, Clarence Thomas, and even made charges to Meg Whitman. Now, she is clearly a hit squad used by Democrats for their own dirty political tactics. I'm a conservative. So the Repubs and the Dems, they can go sit down somewhere. So the fact is, it appears that Cosby was guilty for distributing illegal drugs, but not rape. Now, that his prosecution was politically motivated. That's my opinion. That's what I'm sticking to it, and I said it and I meant it. Because, see, this is what I don't get. You think about it. Think about what's going on right now in this country. Now, you got y'all president sitting on the being video recorded talking about a PUSSY and all this kind of stuff, and you got and all of his minions, they've done dirt, and then you got all these people. None of them, as a matter of fact, are sitting in jail. None of them have gone to trial. None of them have, but they all have done the same exact thing. Matt Lauer, all have done the same exact thing, but the difference between them and Bill Cosby is that Bill Cosby is black. And let me tell you something, black people, until you start realizing that your blackness is still not equal to their whiteness, and all them little sugar fly cool white friends that y'all have, all them he Sarahs that y'all have, let me tell you something. If you don't start taking care of your blackness and your black people, it's going to always be that our prisons are overcrowded by our black people. I'm not saying that everybody needs to be set free, but you are not going to make me believe in any form of fashion that every single African American person in prison is guilty. Again, Bill Cosby is guilty for distributing illegal drugs. But you're not going to make me think for 5 million times over that this man had anything to do with raping any of them women when he could have had them at his choice. And he probably did. And I'm not going to even be nasty about the fact that why would the ugliest one cry rape? When I first saw it, I said, this looked like a man. And I'm just really, really, really pissed off at the whole situation simply because, we have tried for so many years and decades and so on and so forth to become a better people. This man was award-winning scholar, educated, and the white people have reduced him down to a jail cell at 80 years old and blind. I find it so offensive. I find it so extremely offensive that they couldn't just put a collar or something around with them little things that you wear when you got house arrest and let that man go home in peace. Who's going to protect Bill Cosby if he's assaulted in prison? Who's going to protect him if anything happens? The man can't see. So what are you saying? There's going to be somebody sitting at his bedside, or somebody sitting outside his jail cell until for the rest of his life, or until they decide to let him go? I think it's a travesty. I think it's an out and out travesty. And I will never, ever, 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 ever condone what is going on with this man. It has broken my heart completely to know that this has happened to somebody like Bill Cosby. I don't care what anybody says. Y'all can unlike, thumbs down, all you want to do. You can do all that all day long. But let me tell you something. Y'all have just allowed a great man. But see, y'all get pissed off at Bill Cosby because Bill Cosby tells y'all the truth. And it's true. Bill Cosby don't sugarcoat nothing with his black people. Y'all do need to get yourselves together. You do need to get educated. You do need to get off them streets. You do need to pull your pants up. You do need to go to school. You do need to stop smoking and drinking. But y'all don't want to hear that. Y'all do need to stop hollering about Black Lives Matter when they clearly don't matter to you. There's no way in hell that black lives is going to matter to somebody black, and you're beating up each other left and right. Y'all shooting each other left and right. Y'all stealing from each other left and right. You can't leave a package on the outside of the door without getting snatched by another one of y'all people. Enough is enough. And when are you going to say enough is enough? When are you going to think enough is enough? When is that going to happen? Is it ever going to happen? Or will we continue to be that crab in a bucket mentality? Will we continue to drag each other down and show off about it on Facebook, and show off about it on Instagram, and show off about it on Snapchat and Twitter and all these other places that we like to show off? Enough is enough. Enough is enough. Petitions are going out. There's no reason to have an 80-year-old black man, and blind on top of that, sitting up in a jail cell. There's nothing funny about it, and there's nothing to joke about. This whole Jello pudding bullshit. There's no need for that to even be said out of black people's mouth. Oh, he gonna eat Jello pudding tonight. Whoever condones this and makes this out of a joke, that means you are just as lower than life as the rest of those people. Just low life, no good snake in the grass. I didn't have nothing positive to say tonight, so I'm going to get up on out of here and go to bed. It's your boy DJ Tan. I'm out.